What's up guys, Phoenix here. This video is going to be another Metalfoes Zing combo tutorial video for the Dark Illusions time period of the game. Now obviously quite a few, if not all of these combos do change in some form or function once we get Dinglong and 9 branches of the Zing and Invasion of Vengeance later this year when that set drops in the TCG. But ultimately I think if you're going to be playing in any regionals or like high level events like regionals or YCSs in general during the Dark Illusions time period of this game before that next set drops, I feel like the Zing deck in its current form is still very powerful and very tier 1 capable because of just the amazing things you can do with this deck because of just how fluid the entire engine is. But now for this video and some subsequent videos, I'm going to be focusing a little bit more in depth on like what you can do specifically with combos that are not as ideal as you would want them to be, like the ideal Metalfoe plus 3 Zing hands. I'm going to start focusing on a little bit of what you can do when you start implementing Soul Charge into your game plan. Now, Soul Charge is a card that I think everyone who's playing Metalfoes Zing should have in their main deck because this deck is so heavily aggressive at throwing things into the graveyard. It can allow you to play through strikes. If your opponent strikes your Pendulum Summon, you can just Soul Charge everything back and just absolutely just body them because they've just used Strike. They've gained nothing out of it. All of these different little nuances, and it adds a completely different depth layer to the deck once you allow this card to be in your deck because it allows some different combo hands to present themselves to you early game as well as late game. And so I see some people that aren't running this card, and I think everyone should have it in their deck list when they're playing this deck because it adds so much more potential to your deck. Now, I haven't been playing it in any of my duel videos from the past weeks or so, and that's not because I didn't want to run it. That's because I didn't feel like I was comfortable enough with the deck to know every single combo that this card can provide for you. I wanted to hard commit to memory everything that the deck can do without this card before I implemented it into the card and added an entirely new depth layer to it. But if there was an event I was going to like tomorrow, this would definitely be in my deck list. There's no way it wouldn't be because this card's amazing. But anyway, so this card actually allows you to have a lot of different openings that are actually just really subpar if it was anything else. For example, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to be doing a 4-card combo that involves any 2 Metalfoes scales. They do have to be opposite scales, though, so it does have to be a scale 1 and a scale 8 because you are going to be Pendulum Summoning rather early. But using any 2 Metalfoes scales, any Zing floater, and Soul Charge, plus any random card, it doesn't have to be a combo card. If it is another Zing card, there's a few more little things you can add to the play, but I'll be making an entirely different video on that because it's too much top of a topic to discuss in one of these videos because these videos do tend to get pretty long anyway, simply because I have a lot to say about the specific combo strings. But regardless, as long as you have these 4 cards, a Zing floater that you can normal summon, Soul Charge, and then opposite Metalfoes scales, but 2 of them, you can generate 8 cards total, so you can end up at a +3 overall, and you have 3 negations in the form of Titanic Galaxy, Herald of the Arclight, and a Zephyr Divine Strike. And you have a floater left over on the board, so it actually just puts you in a really strong-ish position, considering if this was another Zing card, you'd literally have like almost no play because you can really only combo with 2 Zings if you have 3 Metalfoes scales. But if you had like 2 Metalfoes scales and 2 Zing cards, there's not really a lot you can do there if the 5th card isn't a combo card. But utilizing Soul Charge, you have these sort of hands that can actually come up and happen. Now, I know Soul Charge is a 1-of, so you're only going to be seeing it about 16% of the time, roughly, 15 to 16%, but that is a large enough number that you are going to want to actually just know how to do most of these plays. But anyway, so this one starts as you would expect. Normal summon your Zing floater, activate one of your Metalfoes scales, it doesn't matter which, target your Zing floater to destroy it, and set your Metalfoes combination from your deck. And then your Zing floater will trigger summoning Jiaotu. Now it should be noted here, if your Zing floater that you could normal summon was Jiaotu, then you go into Chiwin here. Now if it was Chiwin, you obviously just go into Jiaotu. If it was any floater but Jiaotu, you go into Jiaotu off of this first summon. But if it was Jiaotu that you normal summoned first, then you float into Chiwin just to have the resource set up there later. It's very minor, but it is something that comes up often when you're doing these sorts of plays. But then you set your next Metalfoes scale and you target your Jiaotu to destroy it, setting your Metalfoes fusion from the deck, and then your Jiaotu will trigger its floater ability to summon Zephyr Neo from your deck. And so from here you're going to Soul Charge. So you're going to Soul Charge for your 2 floaters back that you just fueled into the graveyard off of your Metalfoes scales. And so you're just going to get them both back in defense mode. And it's very important to remember that both of these have used their floater effects this turn, so you can't really do much with it. So this is what's going to end up being left on your board as a floater. So if you wanted to, you could easily just Soul Charge for 1, but I don't know why you would do that in form of like, you get a floater on board, which means that this is something that can actually be protected by your Titanic Galaxy, as well as Herald of the Arclight, and then like these can pop it next turn, getting your plays further moving. There's a bunch of different reasons why I wouldn't understand why you wouldn't just bring back both, but I digress. So from here, you're going to Synchro Summon into your first Boxia. Now this combo is only going to use 2 Boxias, but that's actually just fine because the Boxia that's left in your extra deck is something you can summon on a future turn. But this Boxia, you'll use it and you'll target your set Metalfoes combination to destroy it and bring back your Jiaotu. So you'll bring back Jiaotu, and then your Metalfoes combination will trigger, and you'll search for a Metalfoes monster in the form of Steelin in this case. Now, you could search Silvered if you wanted to. You could search Silvered if you had Chiwin in circulation. So like I said, if you opened with Jiaotu or Chiwin as your normal summon, you obviously float into what the other one was, and then you have Chiwin in your graveyard, and you could actually bring it back off Boxia. But if you don't, and you only have the Jiaotu as a tuner, you always search the Steelin, because that's going to be what makes your Herald of the Arclight. But from here, you actually don't have a lot that you can do other than just Pendulum Summon. So that's what's kind of unfortunate, is that you could actually Synchro, depending on what this is. You could actually Synchro into something else, but it's kind of just a waste overall. You'd rather just go ahead and Pendulum Summon. So you just Pendulum these 2. Your Zephyr Niu triggers, searching your Zephyr Divine Strike. If the 5th card in your hand was something like Yangzing Path, then you can obviously just search, you can search Zephyr Divine Strike. If it was Zephyr Divine Strike in your hand, you could search either another one or just a Yangzing Path. The thing to remember about this combo string is that it is only going to put 1 Zephyr Niu in your extra deck. So if you search two double Zephyr Divine Strike, that was really hard for me to say. 2 double Zephyr Divine Strike. If you search into a Zephyr Divine Strike when you already have one, then you're really not going to be able to play it. So that is a potential issue. So if you search Yangzing Path, it will potentially allow you to just start your turn with it, especially since you have floater potential and you can actually just get extra cards. So there is that to consider. But like I said, this 5th card doesn't matter. And remember, this is still Metalfoes Fusion. The card you popped first was Metalfoes Combination. But so you Pendulum these. Zephyr Niu searches your Divine Strike to get your negation, and then you use these 2 again to Synchro into another Boxia. Now you could have gone straight into Herald of the Arclight there, and left your board as is, but you end up just losing out on a negation. Now you could also Synchro it into Void Ogre Dragon, but then again you lose on another negation, because you are generating only 1 negation out of that, whereas making the Boxia here generates 2. Now, remember, this has already used its floater effect this turn, so you're going to use Boxia, target your Metalfoes Fusion. Now this could be Metalfoes Combination if you wanted to just search another scale, but I typically like to just preserve that in the deck, simply because it allows you to do more things with your Metalfoes next turn, because this can shuffle itself back this turn, and it can be just the thing that matters. It usually won't, but it can be the thing that matters. But you pop your Metalfoes Fusion with the second Boxia, and you special your Jiaotu again. And so now you just make your Herald of the Arclight with your Jiaotu and your Silvered Steelin. Silvered and Chiwin is the other Herald of the Arclight combination. And then you overlay these 2 Boxias into your Titanic Galaxy. You can set your Zephyr Divine Strike, and then the Metalfoes Fusion shuffles itself back into your deck and gets you any random card. So from here, you have your 2 scales, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards that you have, versus your first opening 5. So Soul Charge just allows you to do a lot of different things, because, again, this is a floater, so it's going to stay on the board. That means if your opponent attacks into it with anything, 1, if they make something like Dweller and try to attack over your board, 1, you get 3 negations, so that's already hard for them to do, because they're going to be hard-pressed to resolve a Dweller through a Zephyr Divine Strike and a Herald of the Arclight, but even if they do resolve a Dweller after you've negated literally 3 different things, you're able to just redirect any attacks to this, up to 2 attacks to this, and then keep the floater alive, so that, during the next turn you could potentially do some things there. But you do end with a floater, which is actually really cool, because it literally doesn't matter what these cards are. As long as your opponent can't crack your board of 3 negations, the very next thing you can do starting your next turn after you draw your card is use one of your Metalfoes scales to pop this and set combination and get another floater out, and then pop and set fusion, and do things like that. To the point where you could just get another Zephyr Niu out of the deck, popping 2 cards. And that's why I think it's really important that you get fusion first instead of the second combination, is that you can pop this, go into Zephyr Niu, pop it again, put Zephyr Niu in the extra deck. 1's going to be banished off Zephyr Divine Strike if that was activated, and then that'll give you a Zephyr Niu to Pendulum Summon, and you can get another Zephyr Divine Strike, or you can get a Yangzing Path. So there's all these little different things and intricacies that Soul Charge allows you to do as a depth layer. It allows you to just do Jiaotu plays without resolving actual Jiaotu. It allows you to do some really cool things. And it ends you with a +2. So, or not +2, a +3. You end up with 8 cards instead of 5. So there's that. And ultimately, leaving a floater on the board is actually just really strong. I actually like any combo that leaves a floater on the board, even though we don't have 9 branches yet, and it's mandatory to leave a floater on the board with that card. I still feel really safe leaving a floater on the board, not having to like worry about having to draw a floater or anything like that with some of these other combos. But that's just my own personal opinion on the matter. But anyway, I want to know what you guys think about this combo in the comments down below. What do you think about Soul Charge in general? I think this card is absolutely great. The fact that you can play a Pendulum deck that absolutely just abuses the Pendulum mechanic and then abuses Soul Charge, which was literally like the Pendulum mechanic before Pendulums existed. Like, I think that's really cool. That's really cool. That's really key. That's really niche. That's a lot of different things that that you could just say. A lot of different buzzwords, if you will. But I really like the added depth that Soul Charge gives you to your combo strings. Obviously, a lot of things change when we get Denglong, because you could actually just make Denglong search like 2 counter traps, stuff like that during the same sort of combo string. Make Soul Charge infinitely stronger. But ultimately, I want to know what you guys think about this in the comments down below. What do you think about these combo tutorials I've been doing? Do you want to see more of them? Any decks that you'd like to, any like more complicated decks you'd like to see combo tutorials for? Leave them in the comments down below. Like I said, complicated. I don't want people to say like, ooh, make Blackwing combo tutorials. Like those play lines are literally like 3 strings long, whereas these like are multiple and actually like have multiple different inputs and variants. Just all these different things. But anyway, like I said, let me know what you guys think about this video and what your opinions are of the combo tutorials and stuff in the comments down below. But other than that, thanks for watching, and as always, guys, take care.